In the previous episode, we completed our crossing of the Gulf of Alaska, checked out under the boat to figure out what was causing a vibration, figured out it was a bunch of roots, met up with some old friends aboard their boat for a great evening of relaxing, chatting, and drinking, then cruised on toward Wrangell, where we came across dolphins, whales, and sea lions as we worked our way toward Petersburg, the Wrangell Narrows, and Wrangell. Finally arrived in Wrangell, getting docked up, working hard to keep Barkley on the boat. But he was more interested in the dock than the boat, kind of the normal procedure everywhere we dock. Then left Wrangell to continue our journey on south toward Ketchikan, Canada, and Mexico.
It's about 5:10 this morning. We're headed out into Clarence Strait. We've got about 23 knots of wind on our bow, and we're going around a point here with a cluster of seiners. And they don't look like they're fishing. They're just waiting, maybe for an opening coming up soon. Those fish are, those seiners are anchored at Eaton Point right here. And I just don't quite get how that could make for good anchorage. It looks really deep and right on a point, and yet they are here, it looks like, waiting out their time. But if it does anything else, it gets you first in position, I suppose, for the next opening. Clarence Strait, about 9 a.m. We're about 2 hours out of the channel in that direction that's going to take us into Ketchikan, the Tongass Narrows. But wow, don't think we've ever seen Clarence this settled and this calm. It's just flat, calm water. It's beautiful. It makes for a fabulous cruise.
This action is called peck slapping. It's when a whale is lying on its side and slapping its pectoral fin in the water, making a loud splash. Apparently, this is a way that whales can communicate with each other for a variety of reasons. Humpback whales, they have a really powerful ball and socket joint, apparently, where the fins attach to their bodies. It's kind of similar to a human shoulder, which gives them a remarkable range of motion. They can either drop the fin lazily or they can slam it down with great force. And as you may see here, sometimes they can do both fins at the same time or at the same time. The fins reach up to 15 feet in length, so they can make quite a show with this behavior. We enjoyed this one for quite some time, swimming along lazily and slapping its fin. We never saw who, but kind of wondered who was the whale communicating with. Maybe with us? No, some other whale somewhere. But it sure did make a loud noise and an enjoyable show.
Slowly working our way up the Tongass Narrows into Ketchikan. We're approaching the northern end of Ketchikan, north end of town. There's the Columbia out of the water, and the other ferry boats, and on the right side of the Narrows is the airport.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, wait times are longer than usual.
here's the cruise terminal part of town. No ships yet, but I believe some are coming soon.
Fueling up at the fuel dock. Pumping away. 200 gallons into each of 4 tanks takes about an hour?
Probably.
An hour and 15 minutes, something like that.
Yep. We're getting it done. Fortunately, we don't have to do it too often.
Not too often. Have someone watching in the window? At the Petro Marine Dock in Ketchikan. Getting a total of 800 gallons today, $3.19 a gallon. You can do the math. Slightly more than 1/3 of the amount of fuel Sea Venture holds. We have about 700 gallons on board already, so this will bring us up to 1,500 gallons total. And then we'll fill up again and make it all the way full in Washington before we head to Southern California.
Here we are, making our way to the back of, where are we going?
Foggy Bay.
Foggy Bay, to the back entrance through this back channel. Our last anchorage in Alaska.
Well, good morning, 5 a.m. and we're underway. Been underway for about a half hour. Headed toward the Alaskan-Canadian border and Dixon entrance. Hopefully the water will be calm, but it is right here where we are now. Have about a 7-hour run to Prince Rupert and Canadian Customs. And then once through that process, our plan is about 3 more hours to an anchorage. So I think of all our transit days, today's like 10-hour run time may actually be the shortest. But we wanted to have some extra time for customs. So that's the plan. So right now looking good out the window, very calm.
It's really nice, actually.
Yeah, really nice. Ooh, more coffee. Okay, let's do
Early
it.
morning.
As we head out toward Dixon entrance, let me film me filming you. No, wait, I don't see you. Here we are on the chart, about an hour before we turn. You can see the sea conditions are really quite nice. I wanted to talk just briefly about predict wind versus NOAA weather forecast and paying attention to those and the difference it can make and the value of something like predict wind for like today's Dixon entrance crossing. So where the boat is here and the little red dot, that's our destination. This is our travel today across the very backside of Dixon entrance. And it shows very light wind right now, which is what we're experiencing, and very light wind compared to the rest of the day. If we listen to NOAA weather radio and that was going to be your source of information from crossing Dixon entrance, you would actually not be going this morning, because it's reporting 20 knots of wind from the south today, seas 7 feet. So maybe we'll see 7-foot seas, but I kind of doubt it. The wind is right at 0 right now. And when you listen to NOAA weather radio for Dixon entrance, it actually says Dixon entrance to Cape Decision. Well, Cape Decision is way up here on the chart. So it's all this outer coast area during the day that forecast is calling for. When in your boat, you're trying to cut across the back end here at Dixon entrance. So predict wind is showing less than 3-foot seas and light wind for this morning, and it'll pick up this afternoon
and the seas will pick up some, but just showing you the difference between a predict wind forecast giving you by the hour and location, and NOAA giving you an all-day forecast for about 100-mile stretch of coastline, and the difference between the two. So let's see how this plays out.
This is a pretty fabulous crossing of Dixon Entrance. There's Dundas Island, and the area open to the Pacific. And it is just glassy calm, no wind and flat seas. Love it, love it, love it.
Here is our Dixon Entrance conditions. Paravanes are not in the water. No need for today's crossing of Dixon Entrance. So let's listen to the radio and see what NOAA is forecasting for Dixon Entrance today.
At 3:52 a.m. Alaska Daylight Time, Sunday, July 11th, 2021. Small craft advisory tonight. For today, south wind increasing to 15 knots. Seas building to 6 feet. For tonight, southeast wind increasing to 25 knots late. Seas 9 feet.
So now you've seen what predict wind showed as the forecast, which is what we're encountering, if not even better conditions. You've heard the NOAA radio for Dixon Entrance to Cape Decision. 15 winds building to 15 knots with small craft advisory tonight. I think it just shows you the value of getting detailed weather information that gives you information for exactly where you want to be, when you want to be. And the NOAA forecast is fine, but it covers a very wide area in a very wide time frame. And it's very possible if you were up here with just the NOAA weather to guide you, you might well stay in port rather than cross Dixon Entrance this morning. And this is what you would be missing. Just food for thought about your boating travels and the value of detailed weather information.
We're working our way through Venn Canal at the south end of Rupert, Prince Rupert, and it's actually a kind of a cut through, so we don't have to go around a bunch of islands to work our way back into Prince Rupert. But it's got a lot of shallows, so we just need to follow the course.
After about a 3-hour wait, Canadian Customs arrived at Sea Venture. They cleared us through for our transit, that is, not getting off the boat, but okay to anchor at night as we go through Canadian waters in the height of the COVID pandemic.
In Prince Rupert, we've cleared customs, and now we're heading out the waterway where the shipping cargo ships load and offload. It seems a newer thing in the last few years that Prince Rupert has engaged in. The sun has come out a little bit, and we're heading southbound with a big vessel inbound.
We've left Prince Rupert a couple hours ago and going to an anchorage called Kelp Bay. We anchored there actually in 2020 on our passage north. It's just as well situated. But let me show you what it looks like out the window. Nice and calm as we wrap up the sound here just south of Prince Rupert. If we take a look at the chart, we're gradually moving in where it's narrowing. sea condition wise, this is pretty much it till we approach Cape Caution in a couple days time, 250 miles south of here, 200 miles south of here, something like that. I'm not sure how far it is. We'll be in inside channels. So I have a long day planned for tomorrow, but that's tomorrow, so that's nice. Be arriving at this anchorage kind of early, given our 4:30 a.m. start. Looks like we'll be at the anchored by about 6:30 p.m. tonight. And another early start tomorrow morning.
Thank you for watching another episode. Stay tuned as we continue our transit south toward Washington, California, and Mexico. Until next time, wishing you no wind and flat seas. Bye.